Now, moving forward with Soccer Youth.
I'm going to cover a few simple but very important points before we start this series. What I'm about to cover is vital to you having success. First, understand that this series is very long and extensive. You will have to watch it in sections and often take breaks. You should also be ready to pause the series and take notes where needed. Sometimes we repeat skills and training with different levels of players. Some might think this is repetitive, but understand why we do it. Seeing a 10-year-old perform the skill and then watching an older player perform it is vital to understanding development and why all levels need to revisit training from time to time. Next, understand that this series is designed for 3 types of people: the soccer parent, the soccer coach, and the soccer player. While you might only be one of these, please understand that we created it for all 3. If you see something that doesn't apply to you, it's okay. There are many others that need it. Also, there's a good chance that someday you might be in a position to train others. Having this knowledge will make you better prepared. Why do we always start with the basics? You must grasp this theory completely. Too many people don't and fail to implement this training properly. When I start working with an older, more advanced player, they're always a little shocked when I start them on basic ball control, footwork, and dribbling. What many quickly realize is that they never truly understood why they do some of the things they do or were taught. Many also realize it may have been years since they practiced these skills or have forgotten them. There's also the point that many of them have never done this training with their weak foot. Going back to square one is vital for all levels of players. We build on our skills through this series of progressive training sessions. If we're not comfortable or proficient with these core basics, the latter training will not go well. Also understand this point. Advanced coaches often feel that returning to basics is humiliating for older players or that they as coaches will be seen as wasting time. In fact, the opposite is true. Advanced soccer players seldom retrain on the basics and core skills. If you don't revisit them from time to time, you will lose them. Holding repetitive core training drill sessions is vital for all levels of players. By the time you finish watching this series, you might feel a bit overwhelmed. How do I teach all this information and where do I start? It really is simple, but you must have a plan. Many will be working on this training at home, some on the soccer field with players. Either way, you should start with the basics and build on them. Step 1 is to learn or teach the skill. You should spend time learning and teaching the skill in detail. Once that is done, you can simply add it to a repetition session each day as part of your routine or warm-up. Even if the skill is performed for only 30 seconds a day, we're exposing the body and mind to programming. Making the skill a habit or natural movement is key. Until it becomes natural or instinctive, we will not use it in the game. I see this at all levels, even in the collegiate level. Players only perform skills that are instinctive during a match. Many players rely on only 2 or 3 moves simply because those moves are natural and come without thought. We must add to this range of instinctive skills. Once you start building this daily repetitive schedule or routine, you'll be amazed at how many skills can be done in 20 to 30 minutes. You'll also be giving players a huge amount of touches on the ball. Most players get an extra 300 to 600 touches on the ball each day by using this repetitive method. Take your time with this series. Don't assume that you or your players are too advanced to revisit these skills on a weekly or even daily basis. I encourage you to replace that 20 to 30 minutes of running laps and conditioning with repetitive skill sessions and touches on the ball, especially in younger players. Remember what a former U.S. national team captain once said. It's possible at any time during a player's career to get into top physical shape or try to win every game, but you can't teach skills to an old player. Youth coaches should keep in mind that individual skills need to be nurtured at an early age. Players who haven't mastered the fundamental skills become frustrated because the game gets too difficult for them as they move into higher levels. That's a great quote to remember.